Well, good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice Program, our show brought to you by Tanner Health System. It is 8:30. I'm your host, Colin Worthington, listening to us live on News Talk 1330 AM, FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning, a special treat as we're on Facebook Live. Visit the News Talk 1330 Facebook page, and you can see my guests already, who I will introduce to you right now. Two gentlemen representing the Carrollton Fraternal Order of Police, Frat Brothers, rock and roll. Carrollton Police Chief Joel Richards sitting to my left, and Officer Eddie LeBlanc, who is the president of the FOP, I believe, right?
I am.
He is sitting to my right, and going to talk about the FOP, kind of get a good idea of what they do, how and if they are separate from our police departments and the sheriff's department, and all the things they participate year-round. And I believe they have a big event coming up here pretty soon that we want to talk about and promote as well. So good morning to both of you guys.
Good morning.
Chief, I'm going to have to ask you to get closer to that mic.
Yes, sir.
All right. Get just about 2 inches away, and we'll get that across, and I'll adjust it if we need to adjust our audio. Well, first of all, Eddie, you are the president of the FOP. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been an officer with Carrollton Police, and what else you do, and say hi to your wife and kids and mom and everybody else.
Well, I've been with the Carrollton Police Department since February of 2011. I am now assigned to the court division at the courthouse, City Carrollton. I am kind of semi-retired. This is kind of a part-time job for me. I enjoy working with the police department. It's a great department to work with, great officers, great leadership, just a wonderful department to work with. Besides that, I do a lot of outreach ministries, and with Encounter Ministry and whatever else I can get my hands involved in with the FOP and other things. I did want to shout out to my wife, Julie LeBlanc, and Kinston Slavin, and Tom Harlan, and all the people that are listening. Good morning.
How do you get to be president of FOP? Are you kind of forced into that, or do you run for office, kind of? Or?
It's funny you say that. I was kind of forced into it about 2 years ago.
I was saying you do something good, and they want you to, kind of.
2 years ago, I think there was a ballot posted, and my name was on that ballot. And then after the end of the meeting, following month, I was informed that I was going to be the new president of Fraternal Order Police, Tony Jackson, Garrett Lodge, number 35.
That's right. I saw that Tony Jackson. Who is Tony Jackson? Why is his name attached to that?
Tony Garrett was a police officer.
Garrett, I'm sorry.
And in 1975, Tony was killed in a car wreck in a chase, and they chartered this lodge after him, lodge number 35. I think it was December of 75, and we still have a couple of charter members that come to the meetings. Tommy Payne, I don't know, I'm going to leave somebody out, Tommy Hosey, Jane Carroll sometimes will come. So that's how the name was for the lodge came from.
Well, the Fraternal Order of Police, is it Carroll County Sheriff's Office as well,
yes.
Or is it just Carroll?
We have members. The Sheriff Lang is a huge supporter of anything we do, and this is just another example. We have members from the Sheriff's Office, Mount Zion Police Department, state agencies. I know I've left several out. Hiram Police Department. I mean, it's
Department of Public Safety. The probation officers here in Carrollton actually are a lot of them are members. Mm-hmm. You have Mount Zion, you have Franklin. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a few departments that are locally part of our members, and we're actually recruiting more members. We actually met with one yesterday, and he's asking to get more Noonan officers involved in the program after he went to our FOP meeting yesterday.
Do you have to be a current officer? Could you be a retired officer who moved here from Milwaukee last month and, he's 65 years old and just wants to have the camaraderie? Or?
Well, that's a good question. You have to be a police officer, and you can go into the auxiliary. Now, I believe, and I'll have to double check this, but I believe retirees can sign up.
They can.
So I have to double check, but he just confirmed it.
When it comes down to it, you're a nonprofit group.
We are 100% nonprofit. Mm-hmm. Tax exempt on all donations,
and participate in a lot of events. I mean, the biggest one that I recall every year is what is kind of known. It is Shop with a Cop. I know there's
it is.
Some guy invented it, the name, so it gives some. I can't believe that he gives other departments.
It's not shot with a fireman; it's shot with a cop. So.
Well, but I think you guys are kind of forced to say kids, cops, and Christmas, or
shot with
like
a cop.
You're done with it, putting the hand down. Good deal. But that's the biggest one that we know about. What event do you guys have? When we started talking about this a month ago about you guys coming on the show, what event is coming up now? that you're
We
going to
have
participate in?
it's our annual Chris Cromer Golf Tournament. It's a tournament that we do every year. It's one of our bigger events that we do during the year to raise money. It's an event that we use. A lot of it goes towards shopping with a cop and some of our other events throughout the year. I mean, we have a lot of needs that come to us on a monthly basis, and this event helps us fund those needs throughout the year. We actually, I can go into all the needs, but this event is a huge event that actually helps us throughout the year to be able to fund. I mean, we have needs like members, families, if their house caught on fire. We had one not too long ago that wasn't a member, but it was a need that came in, and their house caught on fire, and we voted to give them some money to help recover from the disaster. The point, I guess, there's so many financial and needs out there in the community, and without the community support, we can't of course do what we do.
Well, I used to talk to Chris Dobbs all the time. He was my go-to guy for news stories, and I remember him giving me the brochure, and we would cover this, talk about this, promote that a little bit every year. Who was Chris Cromer?
Chris Cromer was I had the opportunity and honor of working with him for several years. He was an officer with us. He died in 2000 at a very young age of cancer, and so this was named after him many years ago as a memorial golf tournament, and we continue to hold that tradition every year.
The funny thing is, he didn't play golf. He liked chess.
I didn't know he liked chess.
I'm making that up. I'm just assuming
he was an excellent police officer. Yeah. He actually left us just before the cancer came back and joined the state patrol, graduated the academy, and then died shortly after that.
Carrollton Police Chief Joel Richards and Officer Eddie LeBlanc are guests on this morning's Community Voice program, talking about they're both representing the Carrollton, or actually just Fraternal Order of Police, on our program this morning. Starting out promoting the Chris Cromer Memorial Golf Tournament. Look for sponsorships. I think teams to play, your sponsorships, whole sponsorships, things like that.
Yes, there's lots of ways to get involved. We have whole sponsors ranging from $125, and then we have a bronze level to a silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and ultimate sponsor. We have never filled this year we have an ultimate sponsor. The cool thing with the ultimate sponsor is Century 21, Rhett Harmon actually threw out a really good part of the ultimate sponsor. If somebody sponsors, that they would do a spotlight on their business and a promotion on social media. I've been told that value on that alone is about $3,000. We have not filled our ultimate sponsor. We'd love for somebody listening today that would love to have that, and it's an ultimate sponsor of $5,000. Not only does it come with it, it has 2 foursome team entries to where they can come play golf with us on October 29th at Oak Mountain. Shotguns at 9 o'clock. We have a logo that goes on the banner and an awards plaque that we'll be presenting to them. And then the other thing we actually do is in January, we invite our sponsors back to a dinner hosted at the venue.
That's the bronze level and above, $250 and up.
Yeah. And where the cops, we get to serve them and meet with them and greet them and have we normally have a motivational speaker come in. We would do an awards plaque, and then Rhett Harmon does a beautiful job and a nice video that he does on the days that we do the Shop with the Cop. He'll do a little quick video and play that at that dinner, so they get to see where their money goes to and how it lights up some of these kids' faces as they get in the cars and run the sirens and the lights when we take them down there and get to go shopping.
Every year that you guys do that, I probably get 3 or 4 phone calls or at least texts of people saying there's something going on at the Walmart. You need to check that out. And there always is. There is something going on at the Walmart, but it's a good thing. Are you looking for, is it teams primarily? Can you play single player in this?
They can. Mm-hmm. It's $100 single player, and we'll put you with a team. It may be you don't know who's going to be playing with you. We'd love to have $100 if you want to come play by yourself. It's $100 play by yourself. That includes their golf. That includes their car. Includes their food. There's no other expenses. It's just come and have fun.
the few of these that I've attended, I mean, I've noticed there's a couple people who are very competitive at these things, but for the most part, it's pretty laid back atmosphere, and you're just having a good time playing golf and making fun of each other.
It's a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of good door prizes, and no, you just come out and have a good time.
We're speaking with two representatives of the Fraternal Order of Police, Carrollton Police Chief Joel Richards, Officer Eddie LeBlanc sitting to my right, and we are on Facebook Live this morning, the News Talk 1330 WLBB page, so check that out, and we'll look at your comments and questions, something like you'd like to pass along this morning. Also live online, newstalk1330.com. We are on the radio, of course, FM 106.3 and AM 1330. We'll come back and talk more about the FOP, what they do, the things they do throughout the year, where this money goes when they have these events, when they raise it. And we'll do this after our first break. Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama, because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
And welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program, our show brought to you by Tanner Health System, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, newstalk1330.com. And this morning we are streaming live on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. You can see a few of you have already checked in. A lot of familiar names I see checking in there, including Officer Ashley Halsey with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. So appreciate you guys checking in with us this morning. Speaking with Fraternal Order of Police representatives this morning, Officer Eddie LeBlanc is sitting to my right. He is the president of the FOP, and sitting to my left is Carrollton Police Chief Joel Richards, talking about some of the things that FOP does take care of throughout the year, the events where they collect money and where that money goes. Did talk about the shopping, Shop with a Cop. It's definitely one of the more popular things that we hear about throughout the year, and I think it's probably one of the things you guys are focused on throughout the year, because you want to make that an exciting time for these kids. The kids who are who do benefit from that at the end of the year, how do you find out about them? I guess what are the qualifications for them to participate in that? And is it too late for? I mean, if families or schools can nominate them to participate, is that too late for to get their name out at this point for this year?
Yeah, that's a good question, because a lot of people ask how the kids are selected. So we do what we've called for years our traditional Shop with a Cop, and then we started several years ago one for kids with special needs. And so those are chosen by the school teachers that are in the classroom with them, and they will give us a list of the students that otherwise may not have a Christmas this year. So that's easy to pick those. The other ones, what we do is we start a spreadsheet at the beginning of the year on our share drive, and officers are able to go in, and if you go on a call and maybe you have to make an arrest and a kid witnesses it, or maybe a kid was a victim of some type of crime, then or witness something, then officers can go in and nominate that child. And then at the end of the year, Eddie, being the president, will select a committee of some of our detectives. Typically it's Meredith Browning and Sasha Smith, who work our crimes against kids and sex crimes. And they will, and we also offer that same thing with the sheriff's office to nominate kids that they come in contact with throughout the year. And then they'll go through and they'll read the stories about the ones that were nominated. And then we typically do 30 to 40 kids in each one, and it's a big deal for them, because we go to Walmart or we go to Target, and each kid gets assigned an officer to them. First they come to the police department, meet Santa Claus, have a breakfast, go to the Walmart or Target, and then they get $200 to $250 each to buy just for them.
And at times, I mean, there's been a good allotment of money, and they get a bike too. I mean,
the bikes, now what we do is if you need a bike, then we will provide it. But a lot of kids would go straight to the bike, and that took up a good bulk of their money. So now if you choose a bike, then we provide that in addition to that, because we come up with Walmart and Target have been very good to us throughout the years and give us bikes that have been returned that can't be resold as new. And so Sergeant Kirk Catadall and our bike unit will take those bikes and repair them so it looks like a brand new bike.
I'd like to just tap in on that and tell you that it is just so amazing when you take these kids. I mean, you take these kids that a lot of them are underprivileged or just struggle with things at the home site, and you bring them into the Walmart. And you would think, hey, these kids are going straight to the toy section. They're going to spend all their money. They're going to buy candy. They're going to buy this. They're going to buy that. But it is, for the years that I've been participating in this, it is so amazing to watch these kids go in and go to the clothes sections and buy a dress or buy clothes or buy a shirt.
They're buying socks. They try to buy
they're buying
socks.
socks.
I've been there where you guys have kind of encouraged them. Hey,
And
come on.
And it seems like toys seems to be the last on the list after they get what their necessities are in life. So
and especially older kids. Sometimes you'll see them buying things for family members. Mm-hmm. And that's why we try to say, this is about you. Mm-hmm. If there's another need in the family, we have other ways of helping you with that. This is about you and having your time here. So
you talked about those kids who sometimes who get to participate in this, based on like a call. You guys had to go to their house for some reason. Do you ever look at this as like it's a PR move or for the kids? I mean, you look at it like we're trying to build a relationship with these kids, and I hate to use that word.
No,
PR
yeah,
move,
I would pretty much rather say we're trying to turn a negative into a positive, because we're forced to make an arrest, whether it be domestic violence or what, and that kid had to witness it. We're not always looked at as a good guy.
Right, they could
and so, this is a way for us to show a different side of police officers.
And build a relationship with them just from, hey, when they do get older, they'll remember that police officer going and spending that morning with them at breakfast and Santa Claus and going out and buying some toys with them.
I forgot Santa Claus was involved as well. And how many kids do you guys hope to do this year?
We'll do 30 to 40 at each one.
Mm-hmm. And as far as participation, is that already predetermined? I mean, have you already determined that the kids will be involved? I mean, I didn't know.
Again, now the special needs, we let the teachers supply that list for us. But the other ones, no, Eddie's about to appoint a committee. He typically does it around the end of October, of some of our detectives to go through and look at the cases. And Sasha Smith, she's been with us for a long time, I think 1997, and she's worked domestic violence cases since, I believe, 2004. And so she deals with that on a daily basis, and so she will know a lot of the kids who really need this. So she'll be on the committee, I assume. I mean, Eddie's in charge of that, but and she and Meredith will sit down and go through the list and try to find the kids that we're going to help this year.
Officer Ricky Rayburn checking in with us this morning as well. He's watching us.
Good morning,
Facebook.
there.
Good morning, Ricky.
Yeah, former
Ricky.
CPD. He's with the
sheriff's office
right
yes.
now, and he works with the Carroll County School System primarily.
I
right?
think he's a school resource officer.
Yeah, Central, isn't it? Or he was at Central at one point.
Yes, I think he is.
So thanks for checking in with us this morning, Ricky. We're going to take our final break right now. It's about we'll come back with about 10 minutes in our program, talk more about the FOP, some of the things that their program does benefit here locally, and talk about an event. We'll talk about the event one more time that's coming up again, the Chris Cromer Memorial Golf Tournament, and any other kind of big events they have scheduled in the coming year, which would be 2019. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama, because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
And welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program, show brought to you by Tanner Health System. Just about 10 minutes before 9 o'clock, we have national news at the top of the hour, followed by local news at 9:02. Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and Mark Levine. Is that right, Steve? Levine? Okay. Mark Levine on at 6 o'clock here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. This morning's Community Voice Program, we're streaming live on Facebook on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you're at home and watching off radio, you can watch us live on Facebook. You can see my two handsome guests with the Fraternal Order of Police, Carrollton Police Chief Joel Richards, Officer Eddie LeBlanc. LeBlanc is the president of the FOP. Are you automatically in the FOP if you're a local officer, if you're in Carrollton, or you have to say, hey, I want to be in it? I'm sure you guys kind of encourage people to participate.
We do. You fill out an application, and the dues are a whopping $104 a year. If you are a city employee at the police department, we're fortunate enough that our payroll department will deduct it from our checks. Otherwise, you write a check for $104, and it's good for a year. We provide a nice meal each month when we meet. We meet the second Wednesday of every month at the police department in our training room. Feed you, go over our business, donate money, whatever the items of business are that month. And that's the meeting that Eddie runs because he's the president.
Do you guys meet every month?
We do.
We do. Talking about some of the events where you guys do raise money for the things that you sponsor. We do have that Chris Cromer golf tournament coming up. But there's also a program you started. I want to say you started it last summer. Maybe had to do with collecting shoes. Was that 2017?
Yeah. We were approached by Department of Family and Children's Service local here, DFACS, and we partner with them if there's a kid put in foster care, which there are a lot, way too many, and you'd be surprised at the number of them that don't have shoes. And so we meet them at a local shoe store. Typically, we've been choosing Hibbett's. And the caseworker will meet them there with an officer, and they get to pick out a pair of shoes, and the FOP pays for it. And we've done that, I don't know how many times, a lot.
There was a program that maybe somebody else was doing it locally where people are actually donating shoes that weren't so worn out.
No, that's not us. I don't know.
It's not the same thing. And you forget, as we get older. We all have a nice pair of shoes, but as a kid, it's always nice to have. You excited.
Well, I've never experienced that, but Eddie has had the experience. If you want to talk about it, of actually meeting some foster kids at.
Yeah, there's quite a few times that I've been to Hibbett's, and it's not every time. You got to think when they're picked up from DFACS that sometimes they're taken out of in a very quick manner, and it seems like they don't have a lot of shoes. We've been at Hibbett's before, and they walk in barefooted or with flip-flops or just holey shoes, and when they call it just a great experience to go in and be able to shop with the kids. They go around, pick their pair of shoes up, and big old grin gets on their face, and then you get outside and get to take your picture with them and give them a picture.
So for some of those kids, that's be the prized possession.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk about, as we wrap up our program, I think we got about 6 minutes left. Definitely want to touch on the Cromer Memorial Golf Tournament, which is coming up. Is it the end of this month?
October 29th. Yeah, go ahead.
It's October 29th at the Oak Mountain. It's at Shotguns at 9 o'clock. It's not our signage and all our information's coming to a deadline, but it's never too late to get into the sponsorship. If you want to come and sponsor us, you can email me at leblanc@carrollton-ga.gov. You can call me at 770-318-5618. You can drop off a check at the Carrollton Police Department, make it out to the Fraternal Order of Police, and there's flyers there at the police department at the front window if you'd like some more information about it. So again, there's several ways that you can sponsor. We'd love for them to come out and play golf with us. We'd like to have some more teams if they play golf and like to come out and. I call it a little bumper cars because I don't play golf very well, but some guys do get very competitive. So if you're really good at it or don't play good at it, you'd fit in somewhere in the tournament. But we definitely would love for them to come out and support us. It's a great cause, and we do a lot of good things in the community with it. So.
For those guys who are competitive, there are trophies or awards, right?
There is trophies and awards. I've never received one there, but...
Don't come for that, though. But I want to remind, too, real quick, the 250 bronze sponsor and above, Eddie had a great idea last year, the first time we done it, and that's the reason why Eddie was not forced into it. Why we elected him as president. He's a very successful businessman on the side, and he's got a great vision when it comes to things like this. I'm not just saying that, it's true. So what we do is at 250 and above in January, Eddie talked about, we'll have that appreciation dinner where we serve you. Last year we catered it with Longhorn. I don't know what Eddie's got in store for us this year, but it'll be just as good, I'm sure.
I hear it might be Longhorns.
It might be Longhorn again, but we'll provide you with a meal, a night dinner for you and your guest. He will have a speaker come in, and then Rhett will get up and show the video of what your money went to. You'll actually see the video and get to see the kids actually out spending it.
As we look ahead towards next year, an event you guys have planned, you've been doing this annual as well, Cuffed for a Cause?
Yeah, Cuff for a Cause, we started several years ago. What we've typically done is do it in front of Walmart. They've been very, very generous to us. In the past, we've cuffed an officer to a treadmill until we raised our goal, which last year was $6,000. We did reach that. Officers rotate going on and off the treadmill. Again, Eddie had a great idea. We brought out jumpy houses, just a variety of things for kids to do, face painting, cotton candy. It was just an amazing time. And we raised money on that for two local organizations. One is our local Special Olympics. All the money stays right here at the Carrollton City Rec Department for their Special Olympics program, and also for the Carrollton City School Special Education program. We divide it between those two.
Chief Joel Richards, Carrollton Police, is one of our guests on this morning's Community Voice. Officer Eddie LeBlanc is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, and that is what we are promoting today, the things they get involved in and the money they raise and where that money does go. I did talk about Shop with a Cop and being able to help your I guess Fraternal Order brothers as well.
Absolutely.
Give me another example of something that the money raised goes to.
Well, I mean, just two of our local officers have been diagnosed with cancer just in the past year and a half. And each one of them, we did a 5K race for, and was able to raise $15,000, a little more for each one of them. So it's a Fraternal Police. We try to take care of our own, of course. And we take care of the community needs, but
Well, the wonderful lady in the community, Shelley Roden, that passed away earlier, we did our last 5K we did was for her, and we were able to raise $25,000 to give to her husband and kids in her memory.
Well,
and I think a lot of that went towards their education.
Yeah.
So
we've got about 2 minutes left in the program. Maybe one more time if you want to give out the phone number and email address for the Chris Cromer Classic. Also, I think on the Carrollton Police website, I think there's a banner or something too that promotes
our Carrollton Fraternal Order Police Facebook page.
Is there a Facebook page? Okay, I got
Carrollton
you.
Police
they share
Facebook
the Carrollton
page.
Police.
You can go show and the police department. The phone number again is 770-318-5618. You can call me anytime. The email is going to be LeBlanc, that's LEBLANC at carrollton-ga.gov.
Gentlemen, thanks for coming out this morning.
Thank you for having us.
And appreciate you listening this morning or watching us on Facebook Live. It's 8:59 right now. Do stay tuned for national headlines coming up at the top of the hour, followed by local news. And then Glenn Beck is on the air 9 o'clock until 12 o'clock. Expecting rain tomorrow. And there's a couple big events locally. We're waiting to find out if they're going to carry on with those. So over in Bremen's one of the events, and I think the other one was over here in Carrollton. But we'll keep you posted on News Talk 1330, all the other Great Communications radio stations. And we'll put information on our Facebook page, too, if we hear about those events, the times or delay or anything like that. We'll be sure and let you know. Again, thanks for tuning in this morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.